We are back like we never left. What's up, Busy?
Not black by popular demand.
Yes. Listen, first of all, I want to thank everybody. We got some really positive comments on our live last week. And I want to thank all of the busy bees that came over to sting me, honey. They
They
was
kind of
leaving it
awesome.
all in the comments and stuff. So I appreciate you guys for coming over. And I hope my people are going over and doing the same and checking
Yeah.
Busy out over there. Because Busy has been giving me life with his live reviews. Because listen, when you got down on that damn bed yesterday, no, the other night, and show how Miss Felicia
Was not playing the game. I don't think this
when
is a
you
mess. She
when
gave
you
up.
lay down on that bed and did the and you even had your leg.
And you was like, well, I really think she was. I saw your review. You was like, I really think she was trying her best. I
No,
said, damn,
no. That's not what I said. I didn't say that. I did not say that. I said that I think she was trying to make it look good. I do not think she was trying to. Oh, I think Miss Felicia got in that gook and realized and said, you know what? If
I'm
I
gonna
just
wait
get
till the
one
game's
egg,
over.
I'm happy. I don't think she was trying to do nothing, especially when she knew she couldn't win. She knew she couldn't win.
It was horrible to watch. It was,
It
and it
was
was
it was
sad to
it was
watch.
sad to watch. It was sad to watch. Oh my goodness. Hey everybody that's coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's just jump on in, honey. Let's just jump on in. So last week we left. Now we won't get into this. I'm gonna do the same thing we did last week. We're gonna talk about what we know, and then before we do any spoilers, I will let everybody know that if you want to click off, click off. I got people in the comments that said they appreciated me letting them know that we would get ready to do some spoilers so they could click off. So we're gonna make sure we do that again. So let's just talk about what we saw. We
Yeah,
left
some
off
people
last
don't
week.
like spoilers, and you gotta let the girls know because some people get really
Mm-hmm.
upset. And if you really love the show, sometimes you speak in what current things are happening right now, even though you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
the past. And some people just come here for like a quick update. I remember when I first got to college, I was like, I just want to know what happened on the episode because I couldn't watch the episode. I didn't get a chance to watch the episode.
Right.
We ain't
Right.
have it. So just give me the quick and dirty. And then they started because I couldn't really watch live feeds while I was at school. Until I got home on the like in the start of because when I would be home and then Big Brother would start, but then school here started when I went to Howard. It started in August, and you need to be back in like July to really get into your dorm room and get set up and make sure you got rebooked
Okay.
and
Yeah.
everything. So it was hard. It was hard back then. So it was like, just give me what happened on the episode or catch me up on what happened on the episode, but don't tell me the future yet because I'm not there yet.
Okay. Exactly. And I don't mind people talking about the live feeds. What frustrates me because I tell people all the time, I review the show. I
Mm-hmm.
don't review because I don't watch enough of the live feeds. Now I might drop in if I heard something or saw something. But what frustrates me is when people expect me to talk about the live feeds. No, because so and so said that.
Oh my
I don't
god!
like.
And the girls will attack you.
I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all I don't be looking at all that. Like y'all know stuff that I don't know because I ain't look at it. Okay.
The people will
Um
attack you. Actually, you should have actually learned from the live feeds. That was not a real conversation. But
right,
that's what not what I saw on the TV show.
right. I'm giving you the breakdown of what CBS blessed us with. That's it and that's all. Okay. So listen, we left off last week with Miss Felicia winning head of household. So we got a chance on Sunday night to see how that went down. And honestly, it was a game of chance. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad she won. I'm glad she got an opportunity to be HOH, but it really was a game of chance.
What was the
I mean,
HOH again?
it was the little golf where they had the golf ball and they had to go through the slide.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, she won. And I mean, she won convincingly, but I mean, she was just lucky enough to get her ball to go in the right hole. I mean, it really wasn't a lot of because some of the other times like you have to maneuver the thing and all that. Child, you hit the golf ball and you just tried to go down the
Yeah, there
area,
was
and
no
if it
big
hit the right
skill.
nose, yeah, right. But she won. Now me and you disagreed last week. Thank you everybody about my hair. Thank you so much. Now we disagreed last week about this backdoor situation, and you
Oh my.
have stuck by it. You have stuck by how you feel about the back door. Now, let me ask you this. We'll get into the strategy in a second. But how did you feel about the execution of the backdoor? I know you didn't agree with it, but how do you feel about
Horrible.
the execution?
Horrible.
Really?
Yes, because they so flip floppy, and you telling everybody in the house you're playing, and you don't need to do that, especially not the other side. Like it was a horrible execution because say you trying to teach them a lesson and then you get down to the near end and you're like, you know what, I really don't want to do it. Child, you better, because everybody in the house know it but him. So
Well,
it's gonna come back around to bite you in the butt that you told everybody that you wanted to get him out. So you might as well continue on this plan. Like you can't even change your mind right now. And then also it was personal, not game. I know she was like, this was like strictly strategic and
no,
strictly
it was
game.
no part of it. I disagree. I think part of it was game, and what I mean by that is Hyson absolutely was having conversations on the other side of the house, saying that he felt like he got left with them, saying that he didn't really want to work with them. He really wanted to create his own alliances outside of them. So I agree. I think that part of it was emotion, but when the stuff got back to them about the things that Hyson was saying, that becomes game.
With everybody, my fiance was showing me a chart of the current alliances, and it's like, so y'all could be in everybody alliance, but he can't be in everybody alliance.
Again, I don't think it's about him being in everybody's alliance because it's Big Brother child. Everybody's in 20 alliances. I think it's the conversations. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? And don't get
mhm.
me wrong. I agree. Yes, people gonna talk they ish, but then I have a right to respond to it. And
You
the
do.
response is, oh, that's how, because last week we was all one big happy family. Now you're not HOH anymore, and now it's time for you to make these chess moves. And when they confronted him about it, and he was just like, well, I was looking out for us. How, Sway?
But they didn't confront him, and that was another thing that really bothered me, is that because I feel like a lot of this was personal, like they had issues with how he came off as a dictator, how he was communicating with everyone, his tone, his voice. A lot of those issues kept coming up over and over and over again. But it seemed like no one came and said, "Let's have a alliance meeting. We feel like you doing us dirty, and we've gotten conversations about you doing something with America. Is that true? Did you say that? Were you
So
trying to do that?"
I agree, and I said that in my review. My problem was and I love Miss Felicia, and it could have been edited. But I respect the hell out of Izzy, because when Hyson went to Izzy, Izzy was like, "Well, let me tell you what the problem is. You did this, and this. You said this to that person. You said this to that person. You called me a leftover. You didn't like. I can respect the hell
And
out
they
of the
should
fact
have
that
done that.
Izzy absolutely did do that. Miss Felicia was just like, well, Hyson, I didn't like that because I feel like y'all was bold enough to do this back door, and you bold enough to look him in his face and tell him why. That's how I
Exactly.
felt. That's how I felt. Now I agree with you on that. Explain to me why Red didn't know. How the hell did everybody know except for Red?
Because they felt like, and this was the same on the week before when they was trying to do the flip, possibly because they didn't want to tell Bowie what the plan was. They picked up another random person this week, and the week was this one was Red because they felt like he may say something because
But
he's.
Cameron knew.
I'm
So
telling
I
you,
don't
it
like
didn't
like
make no sense. It like
if,
that's
if
what I'm saying, it didn't make any sense.
Cameron knew, and Cameron is the closest ally to Red, and Cameron knew.
And they leave these gaps open, and people are thinking that, oh, they're doing a smart thing. So you're doing the thing that you feel like you're doing the thing to Red that you felt like Heisem should not have been doing to you, which is not giving you information, not knowing everything else, not knowing what the moves are. You're doing the same exact thing to Red. He doesn't know what the moves are. He doesn't know what information is getting around. He doesn't know anything. but y'all think y'all better than Heisem. Y'all know different. Y'all was on
Yeah.
y'all know different.
I just feel like Heisem rubbed them the wrong way and they were pissed off about it. But I agree with you. I feel like there should have been a conversation to begin with. Like they should have had a meeting. First of all, there's no secret who the alliances are. So they could have been up in Heisen's room for 5 hours and it wouldn't have been an issue. It's not like but in the past it'll be like, well, we can't be in here too long. We got to rotate out.
Oh,
We got to
it's very
pretend.
clear.
Maybe everybody know who's on what alliance, so y'all can have a whole party up in the HOH room and won't nobody say nothing because they know who. So y'all could have had a whole meeting in the HOH room and hammered everything out and said, Heisen, look, bruh, look,
it's just
we
not working.
Really not feeling this.
And they always talk big talk, especially Miss Felicia and Sari. You would think that they will come up and say, let's just pause for a second. Does everybody feel comfortable because you're making this room uncomfortable? Like we could have. There's so many tactics that could have been used, but no, you go straight to I'm gonna take a number away from me. So like you don't know what next week is going to bring. You don't know who is going to be against you, and it's a numbers game. So you think it's smart to take away a number for you? And let's think about it this way. Every person who has been HOH has gone the next HOH.
They absolutely have. Like that's that. Now I'm gonna say this. Okay, so El Michelle said, are we going to discuss who's nominated? We're going to do spoilers at the end. Right now, we're talking about what happened last week. We'll right before we start talking about the pressure cooker, we'll give you guys the 10-second warning if you want to click off, and then we'll discuss, because I know Busy Blue did a live this morning, giving us an update at that time. And since then, we do know who the new. Please don't put it in the chat. We do not want to spoil it for people, so don't put it in the chat. But we'll discuss it at the end. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about. So Jag won the HOH, and of course he takes himself down, which leaves the door wide open for Miss Felicia to do the back door. And so the back door was complete, and Heisem was absolutely blindsided. He did not see it coming. And so for me, I feel like that was a good blindside because there was absolutely no warning. So that's why I said execution, but I understand I get what you were saying about it, but that's why I said execution, because in the past, when they're trying to backdoor people, it gets out and people get a whiff of it, and then they get a chance to campaign ahead of time. They get a chance to pull people ahead of time. Like the fact that they had Heisa feeling so comfortable that he was like, yeah, I don't even want to play in this. I'm glad I'm not playing in the veto. Like, because in his mind, he was going to win every competition anyway. So he was like, yeah, woo, I get to take a break this week. Like he was so that's why I meant execution. I felt like they did a good, but your point is valid. Your point is valid to say, hell no,
it was so stupid. No, if they execute it perfectly, I guess. I mean, I guess. I think I think the in between was just so they know. I can't. No, I see your side, but I can't say this was a great exit. I see it was a great execution. He was shocked, everything, but all the stuff that they kept doing behind the scenes, like, why would you, like, as a Big Brother player, these are stupid things. Why don't you tell everybody? Why would you exclude one person? Why would you?
That was stupid. I didn't understand that, because now you have made an enemy out of Red. And that was just stupid.
That's what I was saying too. Like, why you getting blood in your hands for what reason? Because whether you like it or not, pawns go home. And I don't want to go home. And now you putting me up again. I don't like it.
So if they weren't doing the back door, who should they have sent home this week?
Let me clear the camera. But I would say maybe it should have been Jag.
I think
no, you know what? Matt.
I was going to say, if we're talking pure strategy and we're looking at who has the best potential, right now you're looking at comps. Like, we can worry about the brain games later. Those come later on down the line, the quizzes and stuff. Right now we're looking at comps, right? You know, so if if I was looking at comps, I put up Jag and Matt, and I let them fight it out. And whoever the hell is left on the block is who I take home.
Right.
You know. Hey,
Somebody
Dr.
said,
Sophie. Hey, everybody.
Xavier said Jared.
Well, we're gonna
Like,
get to
got to
Jared. Now, let
go.
me say this. We're gonna get to Jared. Matter of fact, do we want to go ahead and get into Jared now before we because we know that Heisem went home. Well, once Heisem got nominated, he went on his apology tour. Were
Yeah,
you buying
did we tell him
any?
that Jag won the he
Yeah, I
won the
told him when you
power
got.
veto. That was a fun power veto game.
It was. It was fun.
It just
It looked
I
like it
had
was
two
long.
questions.
It looked like it was long though.
It did look like it was long, but then also did Corey go free balling? Like they kept the thing blurred on him. And I was
I don't
thinking,
know. I
does
don't
he
know
not
where
have on
he.
any
Because
underwear?
I
Because
felt like he had on some tidy whities,
that's what I was
but
thinking. But and
but I'm
they
wondering
show
if.
that.
But I'm wondering if once they got wet, if you could just see through them.
I just every time he was coming back and forth, I was like, okay, now they just seriously blurring and like not showing anything. Does he not have on any underwear? Like it was bothering me.
I don't know,
It was
but
really seriously bothering me. And then we get to Jag wins the veto and takes himself off. And Miss Felicia uses the same language. I guess she heard from somebody else because nobody's coming to him yet. The
Izzy,
language that
Izzy
she
told her.
heard.
Izzy told her.
Oh, her Cerie's daughter told
Ooh,
told them that he said something about what was the language? It was like why get
why
out
would you
at
take
night?
out a why would you take out a bishop when you could take out the king?
Yeah, and he felt so hurt by it. Now, in this same episode, though, Jared was getting on my nerves because he's just I think he thinks he's smarter than he really is.
Listen, let me tell you something. Jared is an idiot.
We all see that.
Jared is an idiot. Sari, you had two other kids to choose from. I don't know why you chose him. Maybe he's the only one that had a job where he could get away for 3 months. I don't know.
Maybe he's a favorite, as they would. The other ones was like, we're about to show America why she need to be paying more attention to us.
I don't know.
No, mom,
Because
we can't go.
like when we get to the off camera stuff with Jared, like right now, but this listen, the live feed, if now this I will go into the live feeds with Jared because baby, there's some very disturbing things about Jared this
Yeah,
week. For
it gets
me, at
worse
least.
and
For
worse
me.
and worse and worse.
It gets worse and worse and worse. Like y'all know I already felt some kind of way about his defense of Luke with the whole, N-word situation. And there were some things this week. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's finish up what we know, and then we'll get into the live feeds, and then we'll get into the spoilers.
So I did
Jared
like
was on Survivor with Sari too.
he did. He went to when you get down to the end of Survivor,
I've
you
never
can get
watched Survivor. I have never
girl, get
watched.
into it. But when you
I
get
don't. I have no desire to see people eating bugs and being. I don't. I don't. That's not.
what
I
did I
don't.
eat a bug? I guess some people are eating bugs. But when you get down closer to the end, Jeff Probst brings in their family members and you battle a competition together. And whoever
No,
wins,
wait a minute. Then hold up. How do all of these diehard Sari fans not know who Jared is?
that diehard Sari fans, nobody knows who Sari is.
All of these people were like, Sari is here. Sari. Like they
It was
look, I
only
don't
like
watch.
three people. It was like three people, and Izzy was the stalker. But it was like
Yeah,
only two other.
Izzy is absolutely a stalker.
I
Like
think she know her
they're gonna
blood
need to
type.
move. They're gonna need to move and change their phone number when they get out of that house because Izzy will be like pop up. I told you last week, Izzy will be the one to pop up across the street.
Yeah,
Hey El Teddy. El Teddy
she
said, hey
knows everything.
busy.
What's up? What's up? But they get to play with a game with each other, and then if they win that game, they get like a real big special dinner. I mean, their family member goes back home. After that, it's over. But it is a game that you get a chance to play, and and we could talk about nominations too. My fiance just told me, so I guess this video is
Okay,
right on
okay, all right.
time.
So we'll get to the spoilers at the end.
So
Ooh, I'm excited. I'm
but
excited.
yeah, we've seen him already on. I don't remember him vividly those seasons. Um, but some people do remember him. Especially, I mean, I guess Izzy definitely did.
Well,
Um,
Izzy was like off the break. Izzy knew. So
do everything. Um, my question is, since you're such a defender of the of the girls trying to do this back door, how'd you feel about this last episode when it seemed like Heisem had the mamas wrapped around his finger? Now we
well,
know
that's what
what
I was
his
gonna say. Like, did
downfall.
you? That's what I was gonna say. Like, did you? Was it believable? Was he giving his Oscar award performance? Like,
I
so
think
here's my thing.
so.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. It's not so much that I mean, because Heisen was getting on my nerves, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But
Mhm.
I just like a good backdoor. I think it's a great tool. I love to see it when it works. I hate to see it when it falls apart or when people lose their balls. And that's what I was getting nervous about last night. I was like, they bet not. I was like, they bet not
It
because
was
if you because
this close.
I know they were. And the one thing you did say, and I said this in my review too, if they had chickened out, they might as well just went home because Heisem, I don't give a damn what he told y'all to your face. Does Heisem, I mean, I'm saying not saying to you, I'm saying to them.
Yeah,
Does Heisem seem like the kind of person that forgives and forgets easily? Hell no. He was still mad at Riley because Riley said his name.
that's true. Now that
Heisem was
is true.
absolutely coming for them now. I think that Heisem plays the long game. I don't think he would have done it immediately, but trust and believe Heisem would have won HOH again. Heisem would have won veto again. At some point in time, he was coming for their asses.
And I
So
would
if
love
they
that
didn't put it
chaos.
out,
That the only person we have to thank, I guess, for him not getting it was Corey. Because Corey was like, nope, and y'all not and y'all not changing my mind on it. Okay, they had everybody else needed one more vote, and Corey said, well, you're not gonna get it from me. And
well, thank you,
they
Corey.
really tried to go. They were this close. And when Sari and Izzy had that conversation with Corey, they was like, I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not flipping. He needs to go home. I don't like him. And I'm about to go outside. That's the end
Look,
of it.
Corey's so mad because Heisem lied on him when Heisem said he ain't here. Luke say that word. Corey was like,
He's not trustworthy. He was in the
right,
same room I was in. Gotta
right.
go.
And you know Heisem heard it because you saw Heisem's face. Like, we know Heisem heard
I
it.
wanted to ask him that question so bad, but I was like, let me not dive into that. Because we'll be here all day. And then it will sound bad coming from me because it's like, so you really didn't hear it. So you just erase it. I don't have the tact. And my
Oh, he heard
co-host
it.
was
He
gone at
absolutely
the
heard it.
time. So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
was
he
like, I
absolutely heard
can't
it.
do it. I don't have the tact.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really
I'm with
wanted
you
to
on that
ask, so
one.
you couldn't hear it? You really couldn't hear it? Because this is something, and if I was at work, that would be something different. But this is a TV show that I watch for pleasure. So even when I'm interviewing them, I try to keep it fun. And when I was interviewing him, I wanted so bad to be like, how you didn't hear that word? And why was you making such a shock face?
Right. Exactly.
But my fiance said, don't do it. So I said, let me
So
just
what?
go.
Okay. So how was Heisem's interview? Like, I mean, I know. First of all, we're going. Where's the channel so everybody can go find it? What's the channel where the interview is so we'll know that we can put it?
Yeah, so it's girl, let's agree to disagree.
Okay.
And it should be whatever the latest one is there. Just got home so early, she put it up. I mean, so late, she put it up late, but it's just now starting to get some traction. It was so there were moments where he was very like he was in the house, calculated in his speech. And right, and you got to do all of these things, right? And you really got to think through things, right? And then there are other times that he was like, because I asked him a question, I said, "What was Blue's exit thing about?" And he said, "Girl, I don't know. I don't know."
Right. Because
So
Blue was
it
really
was
on
up and
one.
down.
I feel like Blue wanted to date Riley because Blue was really on one.
Well, and I to be honest, I still don't understand. She was the only one who was like really mad. Corey's because in the extended in the extended interview, if you guys go on CBS Big Brother on Instagram, they have the extended interview, and in the extended interview, Corey's was a little like, you know, I maybe have been the nail in your coffin, but you know, I just felt like it was time for you to go. So that one was kind of mean. But when Blue got up there, she was like, I'm so sorry. Not actually. I can't wait to see you go. And I'm thinking, what's all this energy for? He really wasn't messing with you like that. He didn't do anything to you. Why you putting all this behind it? She just well, she can that lady. Well, I tell y'all, if y'all watch my reviews, that lady annoys me. That little girl annoys me.
Yeah, I'm not a big Blue fan. I feel like I don't really feel like she's bringing any. Well, when we get to the Jared, we'll get to that. But I really don't feel like she's bringing a whole lot to the game, and I feel like she's a floater, and they're going to
She's
look up in about,
inauthentic.
huh?
It's hard to watch her walk. I mean, to watch her even play the game because she's inauthentic. Some people are saying that I don't think Blue knows what game she's playing, and then she's so theatrical at these times. She's a cultural appropriator. I'm not gonna get into that right now. But then when you saw when they was doing the voting and she walked out like this seductive, I'm thinking, God, if you don't just sit down, like what is all it just I think she's still trying to find herself, and it's annoying me to have to watch it.
That is annoying me to have to watch it.
I can't.
Yeah, exactly a walking TikTok. I was gonna say she's an influencer or brand manager, whatever.
China called her a walking. Let me text John. Because that's what she is, and it's ridiculous.
Walking TikTok. And the thing is,
it's inauthentic. She
right.
does not know who she is. She has no
exactly.
Her personality relies off of, you know, her feeling like she's being different. And you know, she's a young lady, so she still has to figure this stuff out. I was young once. I know how it feels to try to get your personality together. But girl, your personality can't be everything. Even people go through phases.
Right. And I feel like she is
I didn't know
creating clips that she, like you said, that she can put on a social media reel when she gets out of the house. Like I feel like that is her goal. I don't feel like she cares about winning. I feel like she cares about creating moments. Like, what is the curler in your hair? Like, what is that? Like, you don't even need to curl your hair. Like, what?
I'm over her. And Steph, you need to go to hell for putting that kitty purr down, because that's not a sentence in black. It's not a sentence in gay culture, and we the ones who created. That's not a sentence. That made me so mad. And it's not a blueism. Okay, it's lingo that black gay queer or black queer people have created. And that's why it's not a word. You wouldn't know it's not a word because you don't really understand yourself and where you're coming from, what you're saying. Well, she makes me so mad. She wants to be this LGBTQ girl, but she also wants to look like, well, whatever that crazy girl is. What was that movie? I don't think I've ever saw it, but it's the girl. It was very campy. And it was like clowns. She was what they dressed. They looked like they were dressing like clowns or something like that. That's who she reminds me of sometimes with those pigtails. Oh, I wish I knew what the name of the movie was. It was a big actress that played that role too. And I just never watched it.
Are you talking about Harley Quinn?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a mixture of that. I just can't.
I listen, you get no arguments from me. Like I need her to go, but I feel like they're gonna let her float and they're gonna look up in about 3 weeks and realize, wait a minute, how did she get here? You know what I mean?
No, they're gonna know how she got there because if you want to dive into it, your man gonna tell her.
Oh, okay. So listen, let's go there. Let's go there. So let me give you, for those of you who are not following the live feeds or whatever, let me just give y'all some Jared-isms of the week. Okay. So first of all,
Jared-isms. You need to create an intro because this is a thing.
Right. So Jared-isms. So first of all, when we got off of here on Friday night, I said, you know what? I think I looked at Ready to Love, and after Ready to Love, I said, you know what? I am going to watch some of the live feeds.
Okay.
I turned on the live feeds, and I actually turned on the live feeds at a really good moment. They were having the guys, it was a group of them on the couch, and first it was America and Corey, and they were sort of like being awkward about them. They were like asking Corey, name 3 things you like about America, and then they asked America. So they were kind of doing
Okay.
the flirty thing, and
Yeah.
the rest of, like, Tyson was there, Izzy was there, and then Izzy got called to the diary room. I think Matt was there, but it was a group. It was the majority of the house was there.
Yeah.
Well, then they got into Jared and Blue, and it was the same thing. Well, name 3 things you like about Jared.
I
Name
didn't
3
see
things you like.
this. Okay.
It was interesting. It was interesting because I was like, oh, wait a minute. This whole bro like showman's thing is a little deeper than I thought. And then
Mhm.
the two of them, I think I left and came back, and the two of them were just on the couch by themselves.
Okay.
Well, the next day, I watched a review, and I wish I could remember the name because I want to give people their shouts out. But I'll write the names down tomorrow because I just randomly look at stuff that comes up on my feed for Big Brother. But I'm gonna write the names down next week so you guys can check these people out. But the guy, it's the white guy who's in his car. I don't know his name, but he usually does his videos from like the backseat of his car, and he's like a very monotone white guy. He doesn't give a whole lot of inflection, but I
Oh yeah,
find it
you gotta
funny
tell me him. Yeah, I don't know him.
because I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or if that is really his affect. But he's hilarious. But anyway, so he was talking about how Jared was being misogynistic in the house. And he
That's nothing new.
right, but it was new for me. So they
Oh
were
yeah,
talking
because you
about
weren't watching the feeds.
right. So he was
That
talking about
okay,
how
they're not showing his misogyny
no, they're not.
on the
And
TV
so
show.
right. So they were saying, he was talking about how I'm gonna make this long story short, but they were talking about how they were having he asked Blue what her body count was.
Yes.
And Blue was like, I don't want to answer that question. Duh, like I'm on TV. I
That's
might
what
not want everybody to
America
know.
is watching me right now.
America's watching. I might not want everybody to know how many people I've slept with. So from there, the conversation devolved. Again, it's a longer version, but the conversation devolved into basically Jared saying how, he can't respect a woman that slept with a lot of men, and
Hmm.
he feels like that is just unbecoming. And yeah, he's had one night stands, but he could never actually date a one night stand that they could be cool. Basically, they could be fuck buddies, but they couldn't ever be in a real relationship because he can't respect them. He can't respect the girl after he slept with her on the first date. It was too easy. And so
Meanwhile,
then it
back
was,
at the ranch, he has a girlfriend, right?
I didn't know he had an actual girlfriend in real life.
Yeah, she says the N word on her social media, so we won't be pulling her up and saying anything more about her. But he shouted her out in the last HOH. I mean, in the last goodbye messages, he said goodbye to her before he left.
Because him and Blue have actually kissed, right?
They've done a whole lot more than that. They just haven't done the full thing yet. Oh, there's been hands in places. Which
Okay,
is
but let me
really
finish this.
weird to me because they both are trying to act like they're playing coy and I really don't like it's not going to be that serious. And sometimes um I think I think what he's liking about all of this is that she's so guarded and playing cutesy. And then but also she's not falling into the misogyny thing. She just lets him talk because there are times and I always miss it. It's only a certain few times I watch the feeds and he be talking his misogynistic talk, and Blue's looking at the camera like, "Do y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this stuff that's
Oh my
coming out of his
gosh.
mouth?"
So yeah, and so then they asked him, well, have you had he was like, yeah, I mean, I've slept with a lot of people. Like, I think it's okay for me to, sow my oats and get it out and have my so basically it's just that whole double standard misogynistic bullshit.
What in the Nick Cannon? Not so my seeds in my oats.
Yes.
No, we
Oh
don't, and
yeah.
we definitely don't need more Jareds around in the United States.
No. So is Jared's girlfriend white?
Yes. He
Okay,
don't
Jared
like
need to
the
go.
blacks. And I didn't think the
Jared
Serene was
needs
like
to
that.
go.
She's
The
white and she
other
likes
reason
to
why
say the
Jared needs to
N-word.
go, the other reason why Jared needs to go is because Jared is really getting ready to tell Blue the secret.
Mm-hmm.
He has come this close, and he's going to do it. He can't hold water in a bucket.
I
Thank you,
think he wants
Montrez.
the
He can't
temptation.
hold water in a bucket.
It's the temptation. I think that That's what I want to know. But you never know people's parents and scouts stuff because she could be a great game player, Xavier. Because she said, how does she race? You could be a great game player, but that don't mean that you was the most perfect mother. But then also, y'all know misogyny it was just riddled in the world, and we're finally starting to unlearn it. Even me
Mhm.
myself as a black male, like I'm starting to learn what society ingrained into me. I think I had a great mother who was stern and scary. So we did what she told us to do, and we followed the rules that she enlisted in us. But also, like, just when you go outside has a major influence on you. When you go to
Yeah, it
school,
does.
when you
It
have your
absolutely
activities.
does. And I
Yeah,
think that, and I wonder, and this is me, y'all, this is 120% me going left. I don't know nothing about these people in their real life. I'm just
right.
giving you my outside breakdown. I wonder if Sari raised them in a white neighborhood and they went to white schools because there's a certain level
Seems like it.
of pressured assimilation. I've seen it. I went to a white high school. I saw I didn't have that problem, but I saw it with people around me
Mm-hmm.
that felt like they had to assimilate. Hey, Miss Toby. They felt like they had to assimilate into certain things to be cool or be in. And like I said, I saw it happen to people around me. And I wonder if they lived in a white neighborhood and they went to a white school.
It
If he
seems
feels
like
like he
it.
has to sort of, I'm talking about the white black thing. Now,
Like
as
he's
far as
he's still trying to
misogyny,
navigate that. That's why his answer to Matt, not was it Matt? What was that boy's name?
Luke.
Luke was the way that it was. I had to start getting my dog out when I talk about Big Brother because his name's Luke.
Oh.
But I think that's why his response was the way. I think it's ingrained in him like that.
Right. Um. Doesn't Blue have a fiance? Didn't she drop her engagement ring in the pool? So Blue got a fiance too.
So I haven't heard her people dig deep down into any of that yet. So I don't know. I know she said she had somebody back at home, but what that was, I don't know what it was. I think because everybody is frustrated with Jared, people are like insistent on intent on listening to what he says. We just want Blue to go. I do think that he's getting more. Did we talk about him saying no, you brought that up and we brought it up the last time. Um that my thoughts are getting jumbled. I was listening to one of the exit interviews and they were asking, I think it was cats conspire away, bitches. And I think they asked like, what do you think about Jared's game? And he was like, he's gonna give up the secret because he's trying to get closer and closer and closer to Blue, and everybody can see it. And that temptation of a horny black male, they'll tell you anything. They'll they'll tell you anything. Okay. And it's only a matter of time that because I'm gonna bring this one back. Let me write this down. I'm gonna bring this one back up, but it's after the pressure cooker. So I'm not
Okay,
gonna
yeah, I think you know talking about when his mom was getting in his ass.
no something he said to um
Okay, write it
Blue.
down because I don't want you to forget.
Yeah,
Write it down.
something
Write it
he
down.
said to Blue about
Right.
they
So as
they
far as
gonna
I'm
they gonna
concerned,
do it.
Jared can go. Jared is trash, and I think that when Sari watches these episodes back, and I mean I know they're in the house, so she may know all this information, but seeing the way it was edited for us to see, because like I don't think because here's the thing, she doesn't know what her son said to Luke in that room because wasn't nobody in that room but him and Luke.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
wonder because again, I don't know Sari, but she doesn't come off as the type of person that would give white people a pass.
She
Like I don't
doesn't
know
seem like
her.
it.
You know, I don't know her
But
like
she's
that. But
never given pro black. She has given, I'm gonna fight and do what I gotta do for my I got kids, I got
mm-hmm.
family, and it's been insistent on it. Now I think she acknowledges like black people in white spaces and what it means to see someone like her win, and what you can and cannot say to her. But I ain't ever seen Sari be like, I mean, I
But you
she
know what?
ain't
You
no
but you know what?
cookout.
You ain't got to be Stokey Carmichael to be like, yeah, what you not gonna do.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Like, you know. But I understand your point. I understand your point. Okay. So have we covered anything you wanted to cover that you saw on the live feeds before we get to the pressure cooker?
No, post or pre the HOH.
'Cause
Uh,
I'm gonna let people know we can get into spoilers before we get
yeah,
there. So
I
if
don't
there's
think.
anything else that you could think of, okay. Um, so we can get into our spoilers. So I'm gonna give everybody to the count of 10. If you do not want to know about what happened with the pressure cooker, if you don't want to know who the new HOH is or the new nominees, please, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next Friday. But
Like
go
the
ahead,
video.
like the video. Yes, like the video. Subscribe to Busy Blue if you're not subscribed to Busy Blue. And if any of Blue's squad is over here, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button on this side. But we're gonna go ahead and start getting into some spoilers. So if you don't want to know, go ahead and clickety click, click, click. Okay. Zap says spoilers. I came just in time.
Just this time.
There you go. All right.
So
Talk
I
about
know
this.
that you haven't watched like the feeds or anything like. Well, you don't watch the
I
feeds
saw
like that.
some. Okay, so I looked at some of because that guy I was telling you guys, I'm gonna find his name. The white guy I was telling you guys about, he did a live feed, even though YouTube took it down. He was doing, and I thought he was being smart about it because he had the feed, he had it playing on his TV behind him, so he wasn't directly showing the live feed. But I guess YouTube got him.
Oh, with the mirror, because he was supposed to. He had it in the mirror.
Yeah, yeah.
I know who you're talking about now. I can't remember his name. I think it's Big Brother Boy or something like that. But
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
he,
something like that. That's it. That is. El Michelle said, "Big Brother Boy." You guys,
yeah,
y'all check out Big Brother
he
Boy.
told us
He's
he was gonna
funny.
do it. He's like, I think what I'm gonna do is watch it, but have a mirror behind me so y'all can see it. And I was thinking, Charles, Paramount. I don't know. They got people in the feds because they can find you and they'll take you down.
Because, and I'm gonna tell you why I thought he was gonna get away with it. I thought he was gonna get away with it because that's what Maddie Rance does. You know, Maddie Rance. He does
Mm-hmm.
all the RuPaul. He does that. He plays it in the mirror behind him, and he's been doing it for a while. So I figure, and because you know RuPaul don't play either. Listen, World of Wonder
No.
will get you too. Because I know people who have tried to show clips and they was like, no,
Is that Paramount too, though? Right?
that's Paramount. You know what? That is Paramount too. But he got away.
I
I
guess
mean,
they pick and choose.
but I ain't trying to snitch on Maddie, but you know, so I thought he was gonna get away with it. But you know what I think too? It might have been too long because I feel like because I fell asleep when I went to bed last night. He had been on for he started as soon as the show ended, and
Okay.
I didn't go to bed last night till like midnight. So that's what is at least 2-3 hours. And then I don't know how long he was on after that. But when I
Okay.
woke up this morning, I went to his channel to see, and he had a message on his Instagram. I mean, on his community wall, basically saying he got a copyright strike and everything. So,
Did he have the sound on?
no, he didn't.
I wonder how they did that and why. I'm
I
gonna
don't
reach
know, but
out
they
to
got him.
I'm
But you
gonna
know
reach
what?
out to him.
Let me say this. He may have turned the sound on afterwards, but when I was watching it, he was talking, he was reading the comments, and it was just in the background.
Yeah.
So he may have, I don't know what he did after I clicked off. So he may have at some point turned the sound on. But either way, Abby said you can't do more than 10 minutes. So maybe it was the length of time.
Yeah, you gotta
I
be
don't know.
careful. You have to be careful.
But anyway, but he was hilarious. And like I said, he talks like this. He doesn't really have an influx. I don't know if that is his personality or if he's doing that to be funny, but I find it hilarious.
It's so like just a monotone and
Yes,
his sarcasm is what gets me.
it's
And
his
I love
sarcasm
his
is dry.
personality. Yeah. Top tier.
Because like somebody yesterday in his chat, I think somebody wrote in his chat, "You suck," and so he was just, you know how you're reading the comments, and so you get to, so he was reading the comments. He said, "Hey, big brother boy, you suck." Well, thank you so much. And he went to the next comment.
What am I gonna do about that? Like, what do you want
Right.
me to say about
I was
that?
cracking up because he didn't even listen. He didn't even pause. He said, "Oh, thank you so much," and went right on to the next comment.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he's amazing. He used to be really big, and then he took a break away because he was he talked about this publicly, but he was dealing with some things personally that he was trying to conflict with.
Okay,
I think the
okay.
same stuff that Blue's trying to find, and we got to watch her do it. So he took some time away. Now I was so excited when he came back. He didn't
Okay,
used to
so
do it in
let's
the
get
start
into
though.
this
So.
pressure cooker. So for those who do not know, the pressure cooker is a fan favorite.
Yes!
The last time there was a pressure cooker, what season was it again?
Season 6.
And it lasted for 14 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it came back.
Well, it was
It was a
over
little,
14 hours, I think. But
yeah. It came back and it was a little
it was
it had,
nostalgic for me.
yeah,
It
they
was
put a little twist on it. So
nostalgic.
tell us about the pressure cooker. Tell us give us your breakdown.
So the pressure cooker is that you we're all now in this box or pressure cooker have you and you have to hold your hand on a button for as long as you can. Now in the first pressure cooker, the button was directly in front of you. So people just had to stand directly in front of you. Um and this one the button was down, so you had to push down, but you
Ooh.
basically just had to stand as long as you can. And I'm gonna tell you why I was excited for the pressure cooker to come back, but then I was not excited about watching this pressure cooker. The first pressure cooker, those were people that was old school Big Brother still, but these are people who was playing the game. So before they just let go of a button, they'll be like, okay, I think I'm giving out. Can people promise me that I won't go home? If so, then I'll take my hands off the button. And like it was so many deals that were being made. That's what made that season so great as well, because old girl lied to Kaysar when she said that she swore on her family, on kids, and everything that she wouldn't do it, and she did do it. I hope her God got her back. But they made so many deals, had so many conversations, and it was so intense. Because then I'm sitting at home watching the pressure cooker, like, no, don't take your hand off, case or no, like you got more fight in you, and all of that was happening more. But it was happening even when there were a lot of people, because that house was evenly divided and split. So whoever won, except for James Ryan, I guess, whoever won that one was going to have some power for your ass. This pressure cooker was different. So they all had to be in a button, sit in a button down there by them. And the last pressure cooker, the HOH got to watch, but physically got to watch. Because it was a box in the backyard. And you can talk through the glass and see how everyone's doing it and watch the game and all of that. This time, and I don't know, it's escaping me. I don't think they could hear any sound when Miss Felicia was watching the TV from the living room. I think she could only see into it, but not necessarily hear the sounds, which was kind of a great advantage in the last one, because then it was like, no, you need to hold on because I don't believe her. And it just made it better. It made it better. And this pressure cooker, it seemed like they went to a studio. And it was a scary, sounds so stupid saying this, a scary verse twist, where they were making things a lot
I'm gonna
more.
laugh every time you have to say scary.
I'm so disgusted. I'm so
I'm gonna
disgusted
laugh
by the
every
science
time
project.
you have to say scary first.
So stupid. So the twist of this one was they were going to do things to have you jump scare, in order to try to get you off of your button. Which I was just thinking to myself, does this need to happen? Like the last one was good because we didn't have any of that stuff, and now you adding stuff to make it worse. I don't know, but that's the gist of the game. Who can last the longest? You can only be let out in groups of 3. You cannot get any bathroom. Well, they said you couldn't get any bathroom breaks, but you can only be let out in groups of 3s. So if you're the first to fall, but it's gonna take 6 hours for the next person to fall, girl, you're gonna be sitting there and dealing with it. And you get prizes or rewards once you leave the game, depending on the number in which you leave.
So
We're gonna
without
talk about that. No spoilers, babe. We're gonna get to it.
Yeah, no, no. Oh no, we already
Oh,
gave
I
the
guess we are
disclaimer.
spoiling.
Yeah, I
I
already
had
gave the
him
disclaimer.
go through the time. So I see. I thought it was Sarita was out first, but it was Jerry. So you watched. How long did you watch? Because and I
Well,
said
when
this.
I watched, nobody had dropped yet, so clearly I ain't watched long enough.
You know what made me mad, and I'm gonna tell the world this. That we were watching the show, but we couldn't decide. Well, I guess I couldn't stay in my ground because I want to sit by, my fiance. I want to be with my fiance. And when I had got off the live feeds, they were still like juggling, right? What's gonna happen? Everybody was still standing, and then Teddy Bear was like, "I think that's enough. I'm about to go to bed." And I was thinking, no, like I think let's wait just a little bit, or let's go downstairs and go to bed and watch the feeds. And he was like, "No, I'm going to bed." Child, I got in that bed. Soon as I got in the bed, I turned on the feeds. Sari and Jared was sitting on the sideline, and I was thinking, so we truly just missed them. We really just missed them getting out.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think that Sari is purposefully not winning comps and just not verbalizing it? Because she's really controlling the game from the back seat. Like, is she taking a page out of not Dr. Will? What's the other guy's name? The guy that won the first All Stars one, Boogie. Is that his
Boogie,
name? Yeah, remember Boogie?
yeah,
Remember he didn't win a comp the whole season. He purposely threw a comp every comp.
yeah, but you get a chance to tell us when you go to the diary. I
But
mean,
don't I wouldn't tell y'all shit.
why wouldn't you talk to us? Like this
I
is
wouldn't.
where you
Let me
get out
say
your
something.
feelings.
I wouldn't say I would. I'm not saying I wouldn't say it ever, but I don't know if I would say it yet.
And that's why I feel like to answer your question, I don't feel like that because she's played these reality games before and she's been very vocal in her diary room sessions or her
Okay. Okay.
interviews where she's like, I'm not gonna tell you, like, I'm not. He thought that I was actually being nice to him, but I wasn't. Like it's like she's been very vocal. So
Okay.
it
I got
increases the way we think about her and her gameplay because we see the strategy. If you don't say anything, then it's like you floating, girl. Like it gives floating. You have to let America know that you're not floating in order for us to say she doing a really good game.
well, but you know what, Art World? I think. I mean, Big Brother wouldn't do that. Art World said, I think she's doing it on purpose because of the family photos.
They
But
wouldn't
Big
do that.
Brother would. They wouldn't. I mean, they have her there. Like it's not like they lied to CBS and CBS doesn't know. Like they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's the problem at all.
Yeah.
I think from the beginning she looked like I am not doing this. From the beginning, she looked like I'm just not gonna do it. She kept looking uninterested. She from the beginning she was like, I'm hearing sounds.
Don't,
Uh-uh.
El Michelle, please don't put it in the chat. Please don't put it in the chat.
So she was like, I'm hearing sounds. I'm getting ready to go out. I can't do it. Child. Do you want to say who goes out and when?
Well, um, tell the story about Luke and the Flies though, because that shit was hilarious. We don't have to get into everything that happened, but please tell the story about Luke. You know why? Because Ebby, the story he's getting ready to tell. Just think. No, you're good, El Michelle. Just think. My girl and the butterflies at the RuPaul finale.
Girl, and when they came, when she opened them
Yes.
up,
Yes.
and not a one butterfly, she kept trying to get the butterflies up, and it was like, girl, this
Asia
is
O'Hara. Asia O'Hara. Yes.
Asia
So
O'Hara, yes. And it was like,
please
this is
tell.
not what you thought it was gonna be. Did you
Tell.
have food in there with them or air? Girl, could they breathe? God, this was not what you thought it was gonna be. I remember that it was sad to
But
watch.
you know what? But you know what the funniest part of that story is? I don't know if anybody has ever heard Monet Exchange tell the story. I'm sorry,
No.
y'all. Sidebar. So Monet told the story on her and Bob's
Podcast.
podcast. I
Which I
think
listened
all of
to
the
heavily. I just got into it. Y'all, I'm a huge Monet Exchange fan. I think
listen, I
she's
love Bob. I
so
think Bob is
sexy.
fucking hilarious. I
Bob
love
is
Bob.
me and Monet have the same brain. We talk the same. I think what I love about Bob is that He's so challenging. He's so monotone, and then he's just like a wordsmith, and he's ready to fight at all times. And
He's
it's
always
like,
ready to fight. But what's funny is, oh my God, I saw the funniest TikTok. Okay, see, y'all get me two things, and then we're gonna get back to Big Brother. So I saw the funniest TikTok with Bob and Silky Ganache, right? So
Mhm.
Silky was saying how she loves the queens that didn't win because they've been so successful. She talked about Shangela and Latrice Royale and and so Silky was like, I mean, the gag is we all do the same gigs. And Bob did a stitch, right? Bob did a stitch, and Bob was like, well, really not all
We,
the same.
yeah, we're not, we're not the same kids, girl. We are
See,
not the
the
same,
way
girl. We do not do the same stuff,
the
girl.
way I cackled when Bob said, "Well, not all the same
Yeah,
gigs."
because I was thinking to myself, okay, well, maybe I do work the world tour, which we've been looking at the
Baby,
tickets to see if we're
the
gonna go to the
way
one
I
in the
cackled
MGM.
when Bob listen. So okay, so
We
that's my
really
first story. The
don't
second
do
one,
it.
I'm gonna be done. So Monet told the story of the butterflies. So I think all of us assumed that the butterflies had died, right?
Mhm.
When the butterflies came out, no, they were cold. They had been refrigerated. And what happened
Okay,
was if
so they
Asia
were
had
stunned.
right, so they were stunned. So what Monet said was what happened was by the end of the taping, because
They
the
cooled
taping goes
down.
on forever. He said there were butterflies flying all over the fucking place. He said the butterflies won't
Oh,
stop, so they didn't die. They were just like I said, they were stunned. And
yeah.
If Asia had let them out earlier, it would have been perfect. But he said that like by the time they got to the actual like something was because they take this shit out of sequence. So
Yeah.
they were taping somebody's like performance, and he said it was butterflies everywhere because they had woken up by then. And you got to hear Monet tell the story. It is hilarious because she was in the audience. It is fucking hilarious. She talks about them
I'm
damn
gagged
butterflies.
to that. I mean, it's a smart idea, but girl, you need to thaw them out a little bit first.
So I wonder if that's what's going on with them flies, child. But anyway,
No,
tell the story the flies, Sissy.
they froze those flies, y'all. So each person got a different thing as they were, and this is why I feel like I'm going to get into this Jared stuff. Each person got a different thing, right? I still don't know what Sari got, but when Jared got out, he got alcohol. I think his was just in a form of beer, and you have to finish it all before you leave. So either you can share it or you can drink it all yourself. He did drink it all. So I mean, and Bo did the same thing because Bo from season 6,
Was drunk as
he
hell.
got wasted. But in that season, they gave him rum, tequila, vodka. They gave him hard liquor. He got wasted, so wasted. So they gave him beer and he started drinking the beer, y'all. Child, by part 2 of the competition, I think we were like 3 hours in. They was like, "How you feeling?" Child, Jared could barely stand up. He had stood up at one point to say something to his mother and fell back down. I said, "No more drinks for you, okay? No more beer for you." And then Izzy got out. And I ain't gonna hold y'all and I ain't gonna shade y'all, but I was thinking, so the whole Fields family gone. Y'all rooting for y'all sitting here rooting for the girls so much, but the whole Fields and thank you for sending me that, babe. The whole Fields family gone, girl. That's childish. And then we got Bowie who was out. She went out 5 hours after. Like they're in there for a long time, freezing their butts off, freezing their butts off. Cut to because it was really boring. It really was boring in that house in the game. They wasn't saying anything to each other. They were getting sprayed and all that stuff. And I know you want me to get to the story, but this was in the
No, go ahead,
middle
tell
of
it.
it. So now they having conversations about the Heisman kind of thing, because now the whole Fields family is out of the competition, and they're all with Miss Felicia now. So they sitting, they're chatting, they're trying to get warm, this and that. Child, drunk Jerry. Now they said, you only have at least this is what my therapist said. My old therapist said you can only have one relationship with alcohol. Okay, and either it's gonna be a happy one or it's gonna be a bad one. So you gotta decide before you start. Okay,
Well, I got a happy
so.
relationship, so
Child, Jared did not have a happy one. He went in there and he started talking to his mom. he started talking to Izzy and Felicia, and he was telling them it came out that Heisem had said you can't trust them a couple of days ago. And they looked at him like, why are we just learning this now? And he got so emotional. He's like, I can't remember everything that's going on there. Everybody says it all the time.
I saw that clip.
I to trust me.
I saw
that man was drunk. I just can't remember.
So why can't you just trust me? Why can't you just trust me?
And his mom had to son him. I'm telling you, Sari looked at him and was like, you need to understand. I know I've had this talk a lot. That's not what we saying. You going by what you feeling and not by what's being said. Ain't nobody said you can't have no feelings. We all got gut feelings. We all got feelings. But you also need to bring us actual facts so that we can back up and secure what you're saying with those meanings. And I was like, well, that makes sense because I don't do that. I'm really bad at it. I'm so feelings based. And I make a lot of emotional decisions. I mean, I rarely am I rational. And so he's sitting there crying. I'm a Pisces. Me and him are born the same day.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. March 5th on the map, though. Okay, because we got somebody else in there. But yes, we're literally born the same day. So now he's sitting here saying and sulking. And I'm telling y'all, back at the ranch in the game, nothing's happening. Nobody's talking anything. Nobody's saying anything. The lights keep going out. Boring. So the feeds cut back. They kept trying to do it half and half so we can watch both. But I was like, this is not important. Just put, because I watch it on quad. I hate it when I zoom in one camera. I want them all at one time. So I don't miss an angle. I don't miss a piece. So he's sulking. He's sad in his seat. So he's like, you need to understand just to say the stuff, because how does it feel now? You sitting here telling us stuff days later. What else do we not know that we don't need to know? And that's just how secure it is. And what made me mad, and this is why I think that lady's a psycho, like you be saying, really be, because in the back, here's Izzy. Mm-hmm.
Yo, I'm telling you.
Drag him,
mommy. Your address right now.
Get him, mommy. Drag him.
Sari, if you listen, I'm talking to you. Come here. Sari, I'm talking to you, Sari. If you get out of that house first and you don't go to jury, by the time Izzy get out that house, she better not have none of your good information. She better know your old address, your old phone number, your old Instagram. She better not be able to get you no kind of way. No
get him, mommy. Drag him, mommy. Tell him. Somebody said Izzy's the amen section. Go ahead, choir. Preach, choir. Right. That really, she really is the amen section. Get him, choir. Go ahead, pastor. Yes, you better preach, pastor. It was just too much. And then he got up. He got up so sad. It went to his bed and cried in this thing. He had way too many beers. Like it was just. Yes, he went to bed. He's like, okay. He didn't like after she said all that stuff to him. He didn't say anything. He just got up and went to bed. So then she had to come over and say,
"Thank you, Patches, for becoming a member."
She had to be a mother. She was like, this is not. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. And nobody's saying that you did anything wrong. Who's texting me right now? We're not saying that you did anything wrong, and nobody's trying to hurt your feelings. It's just we need to know these things, and that's what I would say. As a Pisces, I do appreciate that part because a lot of people be missing that part. It took my mom.
She knows how to deal with her child. She knows how to deal with her.
It took my mom a long time to get to that part because she'll just cuss me out, just walk away. And it's just like, now I got to deal with all of this as a kid.
But see, your mother, what's your mama? She a Scorpio or Aquarius?
She's a Gemini. I'm engaged to my mom.
Oh, okay. She's a Gemini. Okay.
Yeah, I'm engaged to my mom. And it took a long time to just know that, okay, look, we just got into a fight and just like, my feelings is not going to go away. And I could be very irrational for a long time until we like really close up this chapter. And closing up the chapter, you have to at least validate how I feel. You ain't got to say I'm right. And that's fine. But you got to at least say, you know what? I get that you're feeling this way, and you have every right to feel whatever way you want to feel. But I think from my
See,
standpoint, I didn't see it happening like that. And you just got to understand that when no one was trying to hurt your feelings, I wasn't trying to make you upset. I wasn't trying to make you mad. And it's tender care. Okay, patience. And Cerie did that. She's like, oh, let me go get this nigga. She
let me
went
go.
right
Right.
there.
Let me go. Let me go. Pat him on his head.
Yeah, tell her that he's a good boy.
Right.
So after that, they're all kind of falling asleep. So the feeds kind of get a little boring. So then Izzy, she drops 5 hours later, and then Matt drops. And I thought he was gonna stay in a little bit longer. And then Red drops. So which one was it? Was it Matt or Red with the bugs?
I thought you said it was Luke. I mean Matt.
It was Matt. Okay, so anticlimactic, and we need to call Peter or the insect people because so remember
The insect group. The insect group.
you could only get a prize or something that was bad, right? So Izzy, when she opened up hers, I mean Bowie, when she opened up hers, it was a crock pot. When Matt opens up his, it was supposed to unleash flies into the room, which even still in cool, I thought that was cool. But then I'm thinking to myself, because I'm originally from the East Coast, and well, the Upper East Coast from New York, I guess the New England area. But no one sees flies in the cold. Like flies don't exist in winter levels. It's one of the things I love the most about when fall is coming in, but then when winter really drives in, because you don't see bugs. Why did
That's
you
how you
think?
know when. That's how you know when the weather's coming. When you start seeing flies, you be like, "Oh, it's about to be summer." That's how you know. You be like, "What this fly doing here?"
Oh,
He
the
out
crap
of
out was
place.
from Miss Felicia. What did Bowie get? Because I thought she said she was gonna give it to I thought Bowie said she got it and she was like, I'm just gonna get this to Miss
Miss Felicia.
Felicia because this is something she could use.
But
But
can
they
we
opened
pause
it
for
and the flies were dead and they just fell down. It
and
was
Luke? But it
so
would have been now. It would have been.
pressure cooker. Yeah, right.
It would have been hot though if them because there's nothing more annoying than a bunch of damn flies. Like that
That would
actually
have
would have been
really
great.
started the game up because then I would have been like, girl, get me out of this room. That would have been right. Yeah. So the crock pot, it was a pressure cooker. Why keep saying crock pot? Because I look at it on the thing. It was a pressure cooker because we're playing a pressure cooker game. And so they unleashed dead. Can you just now you're just sitting in there? They got these snakes in the middle of the room. I think they were on the heating pad, so they were still warm, but those snakes was boring. Like, because the room was cold. I think the heating pad wasn't working, so they were like, "Do I want to hiss? Nah, kind of not." It just the whole game was stupid, y'all. It got down to the 12 hours in, and it was Corey, Blue, Jag, Mimi, America, and Cameron. And I was thinking to myself the whole time, I just need me Cole to take this home. Child, then Corey dropped. I was like, okay, we're closer. Then Blue's crazy self dropped. And I knew Blue was gonna drop because Blue kept doing mm, 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 she was just doing too much dancing. And I know she was trying to keep herself warm, but this is like, sis, stop. So then she got out. Then Jag got out, and I wanted to make sure that Jag made a deal first. And unless they have some footage that we weren't able to see, because once people kept falling, they would cut the feeds immediately. So sometimes we couldn't see them what they got or whatever. And Jag peed on himself during that competition because they couldn't use the bathroom, so he used the bathroom on himself.
Well, that
And
would have been me. That would have been me, child.
okay, I would have peed on myself. I just wish he would have said like, y'all, I've already been up here 2 times. Like, I'm tired of going up. Can y'all just make sure that I'm not going to? Can y'all? I'll let go. I'll support whatever decision anybody makes. Like, I'm really tired of going up. I had to be in this costume. Like, I just cannot have a break. And I really wish that Jag would have said something like that and did more of that. But this whole entire pressure cooker didn't get good until like the America Cameron scene, because after that, Mimi falls, which I was surprised because Mimi was strong the whole time. Y'all know how they say Helen was pushed? My fiance said that Mimi didn't take her hand off. Now I haven't rewound it back to see really exactly, but he was like, "Nope, her hand. Somebody got some splaining to do." My fiance was really mad.
Oh,
He said she never took her hands off, and I was watching. He was really upset. So I'm gonna go back and watch it because my fiance was angry this morning. But then I heard that America did make a promise with Cameron. So then she finally took her hands off, and Cameron is the new HOH.
and then we just got an update from the fiance of who the nominees are. So who did
Yes.
Cameron nominate?
So as before we get into that, after they get out of the house, see Cameron, child. Have you watched any of the feeds today?
No, I've been at work.
Cameron, exactly right. But Cameron had those sunglasses on since it's almost like they were born that he was not trying to look anybody in the eye. He had these aviators on since he got HR. I think he took a shower with them. Then he had this hat on. Babe, did you send me who the nominees were? Let me just go to never mind. I know what I'm about to do. Because he didn't send me who the nominees were. He sent me all the times that people were out, but we didn't go through all of that. But as all of that was going on, he had these meetings. He was having these meetings with everybody, right? Didn't want to take the glasses off, so he's calling in people and he's throwing out names. He's throwing out names. The only names that he was throwing out were Jag and Blue. He wasn't giving like a big reason why and all of that stuff. So it was just like, what's going on? Why are you? And then it was a backdoor plan, and it was all of this stuff. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, Jared on the couch in the bed, or no, in the bed with Blue,
Mm.
and he's like, "I'm ready to get some." Guy, if I'm flying, I'm flying. And he was like, I was gonna ask if we can use the HOH. Can we borrow your room so I can get me some? Jerry is, and I think maybe this is probably what my fiance felt when we first got together, because I have that side of just, I'm ready. Okay, let's go. And it's annoying to see, I guess, because watching Jared, he was like, look, I'm just gonna ask, can we use your HOH room? Because like I just really wanna get it. And meanwhile, her hands under the cover somewhere. Okay, helping out. I'm telling you on the feeds, really, they got some stuff going on. And then he was like, look, if we don't win, like who knows if we gonna win next week? Like we have to do it this week. Like we have to do it this week, because what if we don't win next week? Blue is that's why I'm telling you, they got some stuff. They gonna be hunching in this house.
That is just nasty.
And he's so aggressive. It's almost, I don't want to say that because it's not
And
like
his
that.
mama told him leave that girl alone.
Child, and the way they've been talking and what they've been doing under the covers, it's just so disgusting.
Because I don't want to think about no parts of that.
And then his
Nothing
mama gonna
about
have to
that.
watch it.
Nothing about that is anything I ever want to see. Nothing
Yeah,
about it.
well, yeah, keep doing what you're doing and not watching the feeds, and I think you'll miss it. Because last year they showed us when Monty and them was there. I mean, to be honest, I'm not gonna act like it wasn't good to watch. I didn't like when it was doing
Monty
it
and
all that.
Tyler. Monty and
Yeah,
Taylor. I mean Taylor.
and Taylor, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna act like I didn't like that. I didn't like when season 21 was doing it, but I don't, that made me like a background bias. Because they had those sex stools and all those white people was doing it everywhere in the house, and it was frustrating me. But when Monty and Taylor started kissing and all that stuff, and I was thinking, turn all the cameras onto that one.
But their kisses were nasty. Like those kisses were not cute.
I
Remember how
mean,
they was kissing? Ugh.
yeah, I mean, we had some stuff that we needed to do, but they was about to get to the point, and I was excited about it. I
And
mean,
with his right with his mama in the house, that's just nasty.
don't act like y'all haven't done it with y'all parents in the house.
Not at 40.
how
Like
old was how old was Bird when they was making that food in the kitchen and her fiance said, "Come here," and they went to the bathroom. How old was Bird in them? Y'all know what I'm talking about on Soul Food. And Big Mom was like, newlywed. She knew where they was about to go. I mean, I guess they lived there, so what
right,
else
they
can
live
you
there.
do?
It was a little bit different, but oh, at
So
least my thing is this: at least wait until it's your HOH room. Ain't no way in hell, ain't no way in
he's
hell that I'm
ready,
letting somebody else has sex up in my. Cause see, first of all, that's nasty. Cause who changing these sheets?
right?
Who washing these? And I don't even care who washing these sheets. I don't want to think about that you and her was in my no.
This kind. I mean, it's true. It's true. But he has been very these next couple these
Mm.
last few hours. The horn dog has been. He needs to go into the bathroom and just do what he needs to. They say
Right, he
they
could
do
just
get
run the
lube.
shower and take care of
Yeah.
business.
Well, you can't do it in the shower because they can tell. You know, the shower only cuts off these parts. So we can you can tell what somebody's doing. Go into the bathroom. You're not locked up with nobody in the bathroom and just act like you're pooping. And just let one out because that's what it sounds like that's what he needs right now.
Just nasty. So who are the nominees?
That
Who did
so,
Cameron finally nominate?
Cameron was true to his word, nominated our Jag and Blue.
Why?
And who knows? He and
He
his
must be. So he was playing. Who was he talking about trying to backdoor?
um at one point he was talking about um Corey, but then Corey, before nominations happened, came up to Cameron, child, and told spilled everything. He said, "You know they was about to get you out, right?
So
You
then
know."
why? I don't. Okay, so once again, going back to your conversation
Oh,
from
this. Oh,
last.
sorry. It was Izzy. It was Izzy, but Corey did. It was It was Izzy that they was gonna backdoor. But
But that's
oh
what
yeah,
I'm saying. But right.
everybody's mad at Izzy. But Corey did. He went up to camera and said, "You know, they came to me, and I was the one who saved it. I was the one who made sure that
That
Heisem
was
went home."
that was a good play, Corey. Good
Yeah.
play.
So
Good
yes and
play.
no, because all these people talk to each other. Can you imagine if Miss Felicia and Sari get a hold of this information? But then also because I feel like it's a good play, but I also feel like there's all the lines are blurred. That you don't know who's working with who's saving who's talking to who, and it's frustrating me because you can't have full confidence in what you're gonna do. Because when I was watching it on the feast and he was talking to him, I said, you better spill because I want chaos to happen in this house. And Corey is done with Izzy. He's done with Miss
Well, what did
Felicia.
Izzy do to piss Corey off?
He feels like they talk too much. He feels
Izzy
like
does.
yeah, he
Izzy
feels
absolutely
like they
talks to him.
control everything. It's not even just Izzy, Miss Felicia, Sari, and Izzy. He actually had a conversation with Jared about this in the storage room after the game. He was like, "I'm so tired of them." Like, and he literally was like, "I'm tired of Sari. I'm tired of Miss Felicia. I'm tired of Izzy. They're getting on my nerves." Corey been cussing a lot these past couple of hours. They're getting on my nerves. They keep
Oh
running
boy.
stuff. He is done with them. He is done. And he went up there. He was like, "Well, I don't know what the plans are, but let me tell you something. Those people didn't have your back like they're gonna act like they say they did. Okay, they came to me to try to flip it, and I was like, "What the? Why would you try to flip it?" And Cameron was like, "Well, I mean, I know they were going back." He was like, "No, I was the person who stopped it. The only reason you're still here is because they needed my vote." Child, he went up there. He said, "I'm a tattletale." and he went up and he sang like a canary. And Cameron didn't even answer nothing yet. He was just
Right. And
he was
that's true,
ready.
Art World. Corey did say that he had to get Sari out. He did say that because he's afraid of Sari's game because he's like she knows how to do this. She knows this how to do this. So you're absolutely correct. Corey did say
True.
that. That's true.
He ready for them to go. He is ready for them to go. So
Wow.
I guess I'm perplexed about this Jag and Blue thing because I aren't we just putting up, I guess, handful. The what my fiance is telling me, handful is not a thing anymore. Let handful go. It went out the door with what's her name, Riley.
Yeah, it did.
So let it go. So I now I'm just like, so what is Cameron about to do? And he said Jag is the target, but you've been on the block with him like both times. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What you think this outcome is about to be for this week?
I'm I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not mad at the Izzy thing because Izzy. I told you from the beginning I didn't like Izzy and I thought she was annoying. Um, I think that Izzy. But here's where I get nervous with Izzy. And I said this in my very first review. Well, the second review once we found out Izzy knew the secret. I said Izzy will hold on to the secret until she needs it. If she goes up on the
Amen.
block, it's a wrap. I'm telling you. It will no. If she goes up on the block and she feels like they don't have her back, it's a wrap.
I've been telling
It's
my
a wrap.
fiance that. I said that she's chaotic. All she needs is to feel like her back is against the wall. And it's like, well, that's his mom.
Yep.
And they've been playing all of y'all together.
Because listen, if I'm Izzy and I felt now, I'm not saying I'm not saying I would tell the secret. But if I was Izzy, the minute they put me up on the block, I'd be like, before we conclude this veto competition,
That would be TV gold.
I have something I need to say. And I would be like Nino Brown. If I'm going down, oh, we all going down. It's about to be Nino Brown up in this.
Everybody going down with me. Okay, I'm burning this bridge and I'm standing on it while I do it. All of us
Exactly.
dying today.
Exactly. Like I'm telling y'all right now.
I love it. So, and this is what my problem is. So, Art World said that he wants Jag to win the power veto. I don't like when they play like this because who's to say that I will?
That's too many. See. That's
We
too
got
many
so many
factors.
people in this house.
Yeah, that's too many factors in that. And I don't mean no harm. I mean, I know Jag has been a decent player, but Jag ain't shown us to be no comp beast. Like,
Right. Say he doesn't.
then what?
Like I really hate the tactic of one. What season was that? I can't remember what season it was when it was just like backdoor after backdoor. It's not fun. It's because I feel like it's a really big game move to me.
Right. Well,
Um,
he can defend Blue. He can defend putting Blue up because Blue's in the whole showman's. He can
yeah,
defend that decision.
he should have put up
But
the
but
showman.
Jag is stupid. The Jag thing is dumb.
Yeah, and don't tell me that. Oh well, one y'all just pawns. Says who? Because three other people have to get picked to play this
Right.
game. And what if one of those
Right.
three other people are your pick?
It's too
I
many
just it
variables in
bothers
that.
me.
It's too many variables for that. Like I'm with you. Like if I put up so first of all, I think the other part of the problem is there isn't enough game being played for people to have that many enemies. Like that's why Heisem was so easy because Heisem had pissed everybody off.
Right.
If Heisem had played his HOH halfway decent, meaning he included, even if he didn't. See, here's the thing. Sometimes people just like to be asked, even if you don't do it. If you decide that if you and your fiance get invited to a black tie event and you show your fiance two suits and your fiance picks the suit you really didn't want to wear and you end up wearing the other suit, you can say, look, babe, I appreciate that, but this one fits me a little bit better. Or,
Mm-hmm.
this one I think matches what you were wearing a little bit better. But your fiance just wants to be included in the conversation. If
Yeah.
if Heisem had said when he called that little meeting and he actually let them talk instead of talking over them, a lot of that shit would have been eliminated. And if he hadn't given that veto speech, the veto speech did it. But
It did mess him up. I think it would have
yeah,
been better. I think going off of what you said, one, if we're gonna talk about somebody in a showmance, boom, that's an easy one for Blue.
that's
And
easy.
then put up Miss Felicia. It's like, hey, you put me up, so I'm just returning the favor.
Right. Like you can justify, but there's no justification for Jag. That comes out of nowhere.
So
That's
frustrating.
stupid.
Somebody blocked my fiance. No, it
Ah,
is what I do though. I do. I ask, and then I always want the option. You can you know what I'm gonna do. Like but the thing is, if you know
I
that
hate
about me,
asking
then
things
you
the
know
opposite.
it. Yeah. So
I didn't realize I was using a real example, but people just
you
want to
got
be
cameras in my house. What's going on over
right.
here? Really, B?
Right. But people just want to be included in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is, Heisem, like you're right. The stuff that he said, they found out after the fact. They were
Mm-hmm.
already pissed off at him even before they found out he was talking shit. That
Right.
just gave them the cover that they needed to justify it. And it's the same thing with Cameron. You throw Miss Felicia up, you don't need to justify that. Everybody gets it. You would
Yeah.
put up 2 weeks in a row, Heisem. So if I'm in the house, I'm like, damn, Heisem put him up and Heisem's gone, and now he got Miss Felicia up. Hold on, we might not want to mess with Cameron because even though Cameron ain't had no control over it, it looks like damn, if you come for Cameron, you might not live for that. And
Yeah.
so, but Jack, and like you said, then put up Blue or Jared, because here's the thing. Both of them are in your quote unquote alliance, so it's stupid. If you put up Miss Felicia and you put up Izzy, I'm just gonna throw that out there, right? It makes sense because they're on the other
That would
side of
have
the
been a
house.
great week of TV.
Right. And here's the thing, and here's another reason why it'd have been a good thing, because now you got two of the because that ally, you got them against each other. What does Sari do? Siri do? What does she do? She
Shouldn't
got
be
Miss
doing
Melissa on her left and Izzy on her right. What does she do?
that would be a good
You
week of
put her in
TV.
a really bad position.
Now that's some psychological stuff you'll have to do to someone. And it's like, oh, y'all wanted to play with me last week? I'm about to put up the people I see you with the most.
That's what I would have done. I would, and here's another reason why that would have been smart, because it doesn't look like you picking on the old ladies.
Mm-hmm.
You have a legitimate reason to put up Felicia
Yep.
and Izzy, whatever, but it makes sense because they're in the other alliance. And then you don't have to worry about backdooring anybody, because at the end of the day, if Izzy takes herself down, you can just put somebody else up. And unfortunately for Miss Felicia, if you get caught, you get caught.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the game. Isn't that what you said to Heisem? I feel bad, but that's the game. Well, that's the game.
That would have been a good week.
But
Yes,
that'd have been a good week. That'd have been a
I
good.
would have loved to see. Now that would have been some project. I wouldn't have stopped watching. I had to take off of work.
Listen, how many? Okay, we're gonna say this and we're gonna get out of here.
Uh-huh.
And anybody in the chat, the chat can participate too. How many days, starting with Friday night? I know they're 3 hours ahead of us. I mean behind us, but starting with Friday night, how many more days do you think it's gonna take for Jared tells Blue his secret?
I think we
You're
have.
my little
I'm gonna
secret.
say. I think we have about 15 more days. I
I don't
think
think it's
we
gonna take
can
that
hold it
long. I
in.
don't think it's gonna take that long.
You don't think so? You think we have less than a week?
And I'm gonna tell you what would I'm gonna tell you another reason why. Because
That's
Blue
good
is on
too.
the block, and
Uh-huh.
he's gonna want to reassure Blue. Oh well, I know I got other people on the other side of the house. Let me tell you why.
You're right.
I think he makes it till POV, and if Blue doesn't win POV, he's gonna let her know I got the votes, and here's how I got the votes. I think it lasts until whenever the POV is. What's that? 2 days from now, however many days that is to the POV.
I could see that. And they're
Uh-uh.
saying you're right.
I see a lot of people saying this weekend. 2 weeks. That's too long.
I want to feel like he's stronger than that because I want to feel like I'm stronger than that.
Soon as he get him something, he gonna be pillow talking. It's gonna be good to him.
No, he's a misogynist. I feel like as soon as he get him something, he's gonna be right back to like, it's whatever.
He's absolutely a misogynist. Because
Yeah,
remember what he said, y'all. If it's too easy, he don't want it. He didn't already said.
Once he gets some, I don't think he's gonna be lovey-dovey anymore.
Cameron explained to Jag he's putting him up to see how the house scrambles. Something about the house is drawn, and by doing this, they will talk. That's not them two, though. Those are the wrong two. Listen, I don't mean no harm, but nobody cares about Jag or Blue.
Right. Those are the wrong two.
They're not players. I hate to say it like that. And maybe being in the house is different from us watching it, but they're not players.
I think so. The house is split about whether or not. Oh no, they're not split. Xavier and Steph was like, she's disposable. So maybe Jared doesn't have the votes.
And Sari is not gonna save Blue. She wants Blue out of there anyway.
Yeah, she's tired of her
throwing up Jared's game.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, this actually works in Jag's favor. I mean, he doesn't know it, but it works in Jag's favor because Izzy and Sari, I always say her name wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. Neither one of them are going to want to save Blue.
Yeah.
And Felicia goes whichever way they go. So that's 3 votes right there.
Well, she's not in power. Child, did y'all see Felicia today? If y'all been watching the feeds, and she stood in the storage room and she said, "Mr. B," and the camera zoomed in. Mr. B, the camera zoomed in. She said, "We need eggs, at least 3 dozen, because we got no eggs. We need collard greens, turkey necks." She was like, "I'm trying to have a family dinner for the people. We've been very stressful. It's been very stressful. So make sure that you get some more eggs in here. Make sure you get some collard greens."
That chicken last night, though.
And they really did. Like, when I tell you, production is loving her, because as soon as she said their name, they zoomed all the way in on her. She said, "Mr. B, hey, we need more. We need more of this stuff." I do love when she talks to Big Brother like there's no.
He was cracking me up. Right, Miss Felicia and them chips and laying on that couch watching that. I said, you know what? I'm done. I
was enjoying. I'm telling you, it was. She said, "Buy more chips." We don't have no more. She needed more stuff. She needed more stuff to eat, and she want to have a Sunday dinner. And it sounded like she about to cook it down. The way she
about to throw down. Oh, that's. But she want all them eggs. She gonna make some potato salad. That's what the eggs.
She said she wanted some eggs from potato salad.
Some potato salad. She said when she said the turkey neck, I knew them collard greens was gonna be on point. She already fried chicken, so maybe she's gonna do some pork chops or something. Do they have a grill? Don't they have a grill in the Big Brother house? Can they
used to. I don't know if they still have one. They used to have a grill, but I think maybe they got like a high-tech stove now where you can probably grill it on the stove.
So she already did fried chicken. What else maybe some ribs. Maybe some ribs.
Something covered and smothered.
Maybe she's gonna do some covered pork chops. But baby, she gonna throw down Sunday. Sunday is gonna be a good time.
She wants
cornbread. It's gonna be some good cornbread, some sweet tea, right? Let Mimi make the sweet tea. I feel like Mimi is gonna give us some good sweet tea. I think because I feel like in Mimi's family, that's all she's allowed to make.
Yeah.
I feel like that's all she's allowed to make is the sweet tea. So I'm gonna let her. I feel like Mimi can make the sweet tea. Corn pudding, right? We got the corn pudding, cabbage. That's what my contribution to the family done is some cabbage. I can listen. My cabbage.
Girl, I was about to come to your house when the next time you make cabbage. I'm coming to your house. Talk about Sunday dinner, and I'll bring some food too, because I could throw down. Oh, y'all. So our world did bring up a good point. Blue and Jared, because they really think that they're just this showmans for the gods, right? And there was the camera was looking at them, and it was like, "Do y'all love this? America love this showmans? If yes, shake your head up and down. If no, stand still." Child, the cameraman. That cameraman.
Nobody is feeling that. Listen.
Blue's like, I don't think America likes us like that. That cameraman didn't move an inch. He didn't move an inch. That cameraman stayed as still as possible. They said, let me back her from the controls.
Right,
So
like I don't even want to accidentally touch nothing. Nobody
well,
wants
like I don't
that.
think America really likes us like that. It's
That's
like,
kind of
no,
like
they do. They
showman's a
do.
couple of that's the showman's a couple of years ago with what was that girl named Liberty, the one that broke her leg, and the white boy
Christmas.
Christmas. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
called her Liberty. Christmas and on the All Star season, Christmas and the white boy who ended up
Oh yeah, she
ended
started
up getting
going with
divorced. Remember,
Christmas
they was having a whole
and
affair.
yeah, they both was cheating on their spouses.
Yeah,
They got
nobody was
married
feeling
and
that.
have a
Nobody was
baby.
feeling that showman's. Nobody was here for that showman's either.
We still not. They opening up restaurants. They still out there fighting.
Hmm.
She's still out there
Memphis,
fighting.
that was his name. That was his
In
name,
Memphis.
Memphis.
They're
Yep.
still out there fighting. There was a video of them scrapping down to some type of. It looked like it was
Oh, for real?
yeah, it looked like it was a shopping center or something like that. But girl, they was fighting
Because then
again.
Christmas getting a DUI or something. Didn't she have a DUI or something?
Yeah, she drove into a gym to try to beat up
Yeah.
another woman at one point, and
They be doing too much. They be doing
she
too
did
much.
it again. I think they're just trashy human. Y'all know they're Trump supporters. They're trashy
That's right, and
human.
that's what I was gonna say. Once I found out their political ideology, I was like, yeah,
I
I'm
like
not
when they get together because y'all should stay away from us. Find love and go over there.
right.
Don't
So
even
I'm
be in
gonna
our
say this before we get out of here. I heard you earlier. This is real talk, y'all. I heard you earlier talking about you were talking about earlier today. You were talking about that your ants.
girl. The ants was
I'm
everywhere in
telling you,
here.
get these because
So
I
this
have ants
worked.
every year at the beginning of the spring because every year at the beginning of spring we get ants like just my whole area. I guess that where it is that this used to be where I live used to be a golf course and they built over the golf course. Whatever. Neither
Okay.
here nor there. Every year at the beginning, as soon as I see them, I put these down. You can get them from Home Depot. They're
Oh,
like the
I
liquid.
bought 2 boxes this morning. I
Oh,
woke
you
up
bought some of these?
early. Yes. My only
These
problem
are
with
great.
those is that they
These are great.
bring the ants in. So, but then they now all of the girls die. Okay, and you don't see
Yeah,
anymore, but
yeah,
it's because it's so sweet. Whatever the smell is, the ants be like, "Hey,
yeah.
girl,
They
there's
be
a
on
party
it.
over here." So
Yeah,
then
they be
for
on
like
it.
a day and a half, you just have all these ants here. Child, after the second day, they ain't no ants. They no
Right,
ants,
yeah, because
no
at first they be
nothing.
marching in. When you
Yeah,
first put them down, they be like doo 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 doo.
yeah.
But like 2 days later, you just be throwing them away. Like,
Yeah, they be gone, and
sorry.
we haven't had no problems. But I hate the process of seeing them march
Yeah,
in because we
yeah.
started that process, and I was like, babe, I just can't take 2 days of this because I have indoor plants, and I don't want any of them to start to feel like they're gonna build a colony. That's what I was the most afraid of. I was like, we need it because we have Frontline who comes, which they need to give us our money back because how we got all these ants in our house. This is the second
I
time we've
don't
had to
know.
call them back.
And
But we
poor
do
and
live
poor.
behind conservation is like directly behind us. We live in an area that has a lot of creeks, a lot of woods.
Yeah, me too.
So right behind our house is just woods. So it's
Y'all
not
know what
that's
I found
not
out
that
last week
far
that
away.
Busy only live about 10 minutes from me, y'all.
That's what I said. She said she's if she is cooking, I'll be at the house.
I'm gonna tell you where I went to this don't say nothing. I mean, you don't have to say, but this how I'm gonna know how far or close I am from you. I ran past Panera for dinner tonight.
Oh, you're not far off. Like you really like seriously
See, that's
really
how I
not off.
know. That is
Because
how
I
I
was
know.
over there 2 times today.
Cause look, that Firehouse Sub is my spot, and that tropical cafe until they built one over closer to my house.
I wanted to get a fire. I saw a thing and I was like, I want to get a firehouse up today, but I had just made lasagna, so I didn't think that my
Oh,
fiance
I
was
love
gonna be with it.
lasagna.
So I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna do it. But I wanted a sub so bad. I've been wanting a sub recently, so now you got me hooked. We get subs tomorrow.
Let you go. Now
All right.
listen, y'all, please, y'all make sure they because Busy be giving y'all these live reviews after the shows, and he's stupid. Okay, he's hilarious. So please make sure. Oh, he said laughing my ass off.
We are going to get a sub tomorrow.
So please make sure y'all are checking out his live reviews. And I do like a quick little 5 to 10 minute recap. I'm just kind of ranting and telling y'all what I remember. It is not a play-by-play, and it certainly is not a play-by-play of the live feeds.
Mm-hmm.
But also Busy's other collab where they do the exit interviews. Say it again. Say the name of the channel again.
Girl, let's agree to disagree. It's
Girl, let's
from
agree to
yeah,
disagree.
Jessica Milagros from season 21 of Big Brother.
Yes.
The
So
one
make sure
everybody
y'all
hates.
are checking that all out. And you tell Tiffany I said what's up next time you talk to her. Tell her I'm rooting for her on the challenge. I am
I'm
rooting for
about to
her.
text them right now because I didn't know that Chada says she's a walking TikTok. So we have a
Listen.
group chat. And I'm about to say, why am I just now finding out that you said that she's a walking TikTok? Gagging. I should let you know because you know what? A couple of weeks ago they were all in town, and well, no,
They were in DC.
I think this was before you communicated with me, even though I was asking for months. Um, but it was me, Jess, Tiff, Aza, Chada, because Chada had just graduated from school, and
Oh, I
Tiffany's
love Shada.
birthday.
Oh,
It was Tiffany's birthday. So and the only people I didn't get a chance to see were oh god, what's that boy's name? We were just Monty was here with them, and Taylor, but I didn't see them. And um it was like two more people, but I didn't get a chance to see them. And we went to this like exclusive like rooftop bar and club
okay.
down at the waterfront in DC at the wharf,
Okay.
really.
Okay. Down to the water.
And it was so much fun. And had I been talking to her, I'd be like, girl, can you come with me? Because to be
I
honest, I
don't
like to
win.
hang out with them, but they like to party. And I don't know if it's just my career or if I'm getting old because they're young.
No,
But
I'm getting
after about
no,
two
I'm
and a
getting
half
old.
hours, I'm like, so y'all I'm about to go.
No, it's listen, I know for me, I'm getting old because first of all, even in my partying days, I was never the club person.
Yeah.
I damn sure ain't shut the club down. Like I would go if everybody was going, but I'd much rather give me a happy hour, give me a dinner.
No,
Like
they
let's
love
go to
to
dinner somewhere and let's talk. Like,
it's all day, but they'll do that, but then they do it all day. They do it all day until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I be needing somebody with me. I just he's not gonna like this if he's listening to this. I'll be like, let me go home,
you
make
literally
sure
just
that my
put it. You
fiance's
literally just
okay. I've left him for way too long, but I can't be out that long, girl. I really
listen.
can't be out.
Let me
And
tell
I
you
don't know.
something
I
else.
don't know. I don't remember if I paid the tip for the parking meter. I don't know the directions over here. I'll blame it on anything. So we were
Let
just
me
out
tell you
someone.
something, and this is how old I've gotten. If it starts too late, I'm not coming. If it's in downtown DC and I got to worry about parking, I might not. It's a if. It's a if. Because let me tell you the one thing I can't stand worrying about parking in DC. Partying in DC now is not the same as back then. Like you used to be at a party in DC, you could find a parking space, didn't have to worry about coming out every 2 hours and feeding the fucking meter, didn't
Yeah,
have
it
to worry
was
about getting a
different.
$150 ticket. Like going into DC is a pain in the ass. And that's my city. I'm born and raised in DC. So when I tell you I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about. But going
They
into
be
DC
getting me.
now, it is just it's a pain. It's just a pain. So when people listen, and my friends already know when they be like, we're doing a such and such and such, I'd be like, they got parking? Because
They
I
better have it, and don't be
they got
going into the
parking.
northwest because I just feel like they pack every street with cameras in northwest.
Oh, DC, absolutely they do.
In Northwest, every street got a camera. The Southwest, not so much. Southeast, nah, the girls has kind of got some cameras here, but after enough people was knocking them down and spray painting them, I
Yeah,
think
DC,
Mayor
yeah.
Bowser was like, "Look, I don't think that's the place to put the camera.
Listen,
They're not
and the
going to
thing
survive."
is, I'll sometimes I'll drive to my parents' house in Uber because my parents still live in DC.
Uh
So
huh.
I'll drive to my parents' house and I'll Uber, depending on the situation, so I don't have to worry about all that because it's cheaper for me to Uber than to get a ticket. It's
Yeah.
cheaper for me to Uber from my parents' house to downtown DC than to pay for parking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So sometimes I do that. Now Southwest is closer, coming from our house, it's close, but if it's in Northwest and all of that, I'll go to my parents' house. But
Yeah.
it's just too much. It's just too much.
Well, we'll figure it out
But
because they'll be back soon, and I'm supposed
yeah,
to be
definitely.
to
Because again,
Ozark.
listen, when it comes to certain people of Big Brother, I don't fan out about a lot of people because I'm just not that person. But I would love to talk to Tiffany. I don't like everything that Tiffany says, but I like Tiffany. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
She's a
Yeah.
regular girl. She's like my mama bear. I remember when I
Yeah,
was going through some
Tiffany,
hard times. She
Tiffany
was
be
like,
cracking me up, and I love seeing her on like the challenge and stuff because
yeah.
I love watching her. But anyway, y'all, we've
Let's
been
get up and
rambling.
see if we can call her real quick.
Okay, call her. You want to wait till we get offline?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Y'all
we're
know
going
what?
to
Follow
take
me.
now so I can talk to Tiffany. We'll be back next Friday, you guys. In the meantime, check us out on all the different places this week to get all of your commentary on Big Brother. And thank y'all for being here. And we are out. We are out. I did not know that was your